Yes, indeed. I've completely forgotten how to play this game. What button should I press? Gee, that sounds about right. That stuff. I didn't mean for you to do that. How do I cancel stuff? Oh gosh, C. Right, cancel all of that. Sorry, didn't mean to tell you to do that. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, or welcome back, I suppose I should say, to Oxygen Not Included. And some of you may not even realise that I've previously done Oxygen Not Included. Yes, a long time ago, I did a series on Oxygen Not Included that went quite far, and pushed me quite far into insanity and misery. And it didn't go very well, mainly because I didn't know what under the sun I was doing. Which probably doesn't surprise any of you, because I never know what I'm doing at any point in my life, because I'm a bit of a moron. So, at the end of the last video that I did on Oxygen Not Included, I said very soon I will come back to Oxygen Not Included, and we'll play the game again, and we'll have some more fun with it. And we will have good times with it. And then I never did. Well, that's not entirely strictly true. I did actually come back, I think the very next day after the last video. I came back to Oxygen Not Included, and I started a new colony, but, excuse me, I nearly died in the process. I came back and I attempted to build a new colony, and I think it was too soon after the old colony, and it just... my heart wasn't in it. I wasn't enthused to keep going. But, as much as it has been a long time since our last session in this game, although it has been a long time, I thought we'd come back to it and we'd play it again, because I feel like I didn't sort of fairly show off the game. I feel like there was more to the game that I could have shown you, and there was more success that I could have had. And it's definitely not because I've been having a really, really terrible time trying to make a video, and I desperately need to make 2 more before Friday afternoon. It's definitely not for those reasons, I promise. But, It's sort of nice to be back in this game. I already feel an odd sense of nervousness. I already feel oddly uncomfortable in just existing here. So we haven't any metal. There's lots of metal here though, so I'm thinking we should have a little dig over here maybe, because there's a big load of metal here. I think we should dig through all of this. What's this? Oh, coal! It's coal. Sorry, I'm just remembering all of the many moments we spent in this game thinking, gee whiz, I wish I had some coal, and we didn't have any coal, because I was a moron. But, let me just set that to go there, so they can actually reach that. So, right, I've got to start thinking, what sort of things do we need in a base? We need a generator. We need a generator to make some power. And we definitely need an outhouse. We could definitely make good use of an outhouse. I don't want to put it too far away, because it's going to mean that they do long commutes. But at the same time, I don't want them to like produce, because this produces like bad oxygen, doesn't it? I think, I can't remember. Don't we need like a oh, we could put a wash basin in. Yeah, let's put a wash basin in next to it so that they wash their hands. That might be useful, because then they wouldn't get germies everywhere, right? They wouldn't get germs everywhere, and that would be good. So do I have a computer? Can I make a computer somewhere? Because I need to do research, don't I? Stations, research stations, here we are. So where should we put our research station? Because I'm trying to think ahead, right? Because the primary problem with the original colony, which I can't even remember the name of, but the primary problem with it was that I didn't ever think ahead, and I solved a problem, but I never thought about how it would impact everything else, right? So I would say, how do I do this again? I would, for example, think we need some apartments, and I just build some apartments wherever we had space. I didn't think like, okay, let's put the apartments in a logical place which will reduce their commuting times or something like that. I never did any of that because I was a big dummy. I was a big idiot face, which it never served me very well. So if I can even remember how to play the game. So I'm trying to think ahead. I'm trying to think logically and sensibly, which if you know me, you'll know that's not going to go well. But I'm going to try, okay? I'm going to try and do this properly. I'm going to try and do this effectively. I'm going to try and do this a bit faster because I feel like we're going quite slowly. Oh gosh, I need to get some crops growing as well, don't I? Can I have like a... Is there like a dig up tool, like uproot things? Harvest plants. Can I harvest this? Bristle blossom. I don't think that's what I was mainly growing. I was mainly growing... I can't remember what it's called. Meal lice? Meal wood? Something like that? Is there like a reason you can't do a job? Is there like a reason you're not doing anything? Because it seems like day after day you're not doing anything. Anyway, for no reason at all, let's just assign them beds. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Okay, so we've got a good amount of metal, which means we can probably get going on some form of research station so we can start learning things. Because he who learns... I don't know. Probably does well in exams, unlike me. So did I build the rooms 3 high previously, or did I build them 4 high? I think I built them 4 high, but I don't think they can reach that high. I'm going to build them 3 high. I'm going to try doing things differently, but also... hang on a minute. If I do that, I won't be able to build a thing there, so we won't be able to build any rooms over here. But eventually we'll run out of this water, and then we can get rid of this, and we won't have to worry about that anymore. Won't that be lovely when we don't have to worry about anything anymore? Me not worrying about anything? Not possible. Absolutely not possible. Okay, so where's the generator? Here we are, right. Yeah, let's put a generator in, but let's not put it right next to it, because we're going to need to put a supercomputer in as well for bigger learnings, I think. So let's have a line of wire running over there. And I'm also going to try and think ahead in many ways. The colony requires a food source. I know it does. I know it does. Microbe musher. Do I have the resources to do this? Oh goodness! Of course this is slightly too high. Of course it is. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be slightly too high? Think ahead, Phil. So let's make the rooms 3 tall, which means they won't be quite tall enough to fit in half of the machinery. You muppet! Gosh. Oh gosh. Okay then. Where's that thing gone? The microbe musher. I don't know, as this is the device that we should have yet. Oh, this is tall enough to go in here. Okay, then I suppose we'll put it in here then. We'll just build the 1 for the time being, because I'm slightly afraid of building too much too soon, and I'm aware that we've only got a few people at the minute. We don't need massive amounts of resources going. So I really hope we encounter some oil in this time, because I'd really like to show you things I didn't show you previously. Like, I know we never quite got into an alien facility. I know that would be a fun thing to do. I know that would be nice to do, but I never did that because I kind of gave up a bit too soon. Well, I didn't give up exactly. I just realised that there was no way to survive the problem. Mind you, with people this stupid, it frankly doesn't surprise me that that we didn't survive very long. What was I talking about? Mealwood! That sounds about right. Have we got any more mealwood? Yes, yeah. I spy food. I also spy a very unsteady hand. Yeah, let's go back to the dig feature. Can I dig this out? Yeah, here we are. Not in, like, the musical sense, I mean. Did I make that joke before? This is going to be another problem that I'm going to have, because, obviously, my comedy is very... comedy. Like, calling it comedy is extremely kind. My irregular tripe that spews out of my face is obviously entirely reactive to the things that are in front of me, and the things that are in front of me are exactly the same things as the old things that were in front of me. So I can't guarantee that the cat will not die in the middle of a video. Are you alright? I think you're alright. I can't guarantee that I'll say new things, but who knows, honestly. Right, let's get into some basic farming and some food, I think, because food was always a constant and recurring issue for me and my stupid brain. So, weren't there also, like, jobs that I could give people? Yes. So, is anyone good at science? Is anyone good at science? You're very strong. You're very creative, a bit strong in machinery. You're good at science. Let's give you the science jobs. How does one do that? Doctoring, cooking, decorating, researching, coffin fitting. Right, okay, the cat has been saved, and I've put the science guy Abe has been encouraged to do science, and everyone else has been discouraged from doing science. So hopefully now science will go ahead relatively swiftly. See? Very swift. Very swiftiness, because we have +7 to science, which means we are highly scientific people. Okay, right, so we can probably put some stuff across here, right, just to try and make this look a little bit nicer. So we need to get our basics up and running, right? Like, I think that would be a good idea, is we need to get all of the basics going. So in the research, we've got the compost, which gets rid of the polluted dirt. We've got the food boxes, we've got the algae things, we've got the meal preparation stuff. So this is our food production and our oxygen production, which are two of the most vital things. And gladly we do have a fair amount of this oxylite stuff. So that will come in handy. We've got a good supply. We've got a massive supply of metal, actually. That's truly excellent. I know we need oxygen generation. I know we haven't got any of that. I promise we will get that done very soon. Research has been completed. See, I told you we'd get that sorted out soon. So now we have the oxygen producing plants. So a question that I really should have looked into and never did while away, because I didn't think I was ever coming back to this game, to be quite frank. It strikes me I never actually studied how the dynamics of the game work. I don't know how the gases move. I don't know if the gases obey the natural laws of gas dynamics. Wouldn't help even if I had guaranteed information that they did, because, well, I don't really know how gases behave. I know heat goes up, but that's thermodynamics, not gaseous dynamics. So what I'm going to do for the time being is plan on putting a couple of terrariums down here at the bottom. Can I actually see how much the terrarium produces a day? How much does it produce? It doesn't say. Yeah, I think we have to wait until it's constructed. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to look at how much daily consumption of oxygen they have. How much oxygen they consume a day. That would be very useful for me to know. Weren't there like some summary reports or something? Colony's daily cycles. Yeah, here we are. Let's go back to yesterday. How much oxygen did we consume? Calorie generation, stress change, disease status, errands, critters. We used 166 kilograms of oxygen. So, where's my calculator? Let's do some maths. Let's solve this problem with maths. We had 166 kilograms of oxygen being used between 3 different people, which means each person's using about 55. Oh, God, I haven't got any jobs to do. Is using about 55 kilograms of oxygen. So, how much oxygen does this produce in a day? 40 grams a second. How many seconds are in a day? I don't know how many seconds there are in a day. Oh, I didn't know they consume carbon dioxide. That would have solved a massive problem I had in the old days, but never mind. I suppose we could do this a little bit more simply. If I just construct, say, 2 or 3, then by the end of the day, we'll then have a whole day tomorrow to see how much oxygen they produce, and then we'll see how much oxygen 2 terrariums produce, and then we'll use that to figure out a ratio of terrariums to duplicants. Anyway, moving swiftly on, shall we have a blueprint? Should we have some blossom seeds? There's only 2 of those, that doesn't sound very useful. Should we have another person, or should we have a less squeaky chair? So what have we got here? We have a Joshua, a Turner, or a Stinky. You're a crier, you're a binge eater, and you're a vomiter. I always prefer vomiters over binge eaters because binge eaters are extremely dangerous, because the last thing you want when people are highly stressed is people eating lots. Mind you, I think you need more food each day anyway, and your strength is reduced by 3, but it's already reduced by 7. So good at medicine. You're very good at medicine, actually. Also germ resistant. This Stinky has never been invited to a party, which is a shame. His dance moves are incredible. He does seem to have very athletic legs. Kindly leave me in peace. I'm trying to do a thing, you mischievous moplet. To be honest, I think we'll just go for the seeds. We might just wait a little while. I'd rather bring in good people rather than acceptable people. I'd rather, like, hold on to my horses and wait until really good carts come in for those horses to pull. Anyway, back in the land of the sane, which is nowhere near me. Let's keep working. We need to assign some more research tasks. What shall we look at next? None of this, it was massively important if I remember. This has big batteries, which are useful. Slightly loses charge over time. Do the normal batteries do that? I don't even know if there's like a piece of research for the normal batteries or not. I don't think there is. Piping. I could never get the piping work because there was always the pressure problems. Yeah, which was never... Because this is like pressure management, but nothing actually reduces pressure, I suppose. I suppose you literally just have to pull air out of high pressure areas, but it always ended up that everywhere was too high pressured. But, I suppose the pipes would be useful, but not right now. Getting rid of polluted oxygen might be useful, because they also reduce the amount of stress. Reduce the amount of disease is what I'm trying to say. I think piping would be more useful. Piping and bathroom and showers, because those are useful for water production and stuff like that. So, meal lice, mush bars, and tofu. Made from nosh beans, never even heard of them. Mush bars are preferable to starvation, but barely edible. Can we go for the lice loaf then? What does it use? It uses water, I didn't realise that. And it requires lice loaf. Oh no. Quality terrible. Oh. Is tofu... Tofu's good? What does it use though? What does it consume? Oh, the nosh beans. Yeah, I forgot. We don't have any nosh beans. We don't have any meal lice either. We have mush bars, nothing else. We do have quite a lot of food though. We have muckroot and nutrient bars. Yeah, so I need to get some plantations going. I need to get some planter boxes going. So... plants need to be in an area where there's CO2, right? Plants like being in an area where there's CO2. We don't want them where there's oxygen. Can I get my oxygen overlay up if I can remember how you access that? Oxygen overlay. Here we go. So, does carbon dioxide go down? It seems like the carbon dioxide is lower down, but then again, they're also lower down. So is that just because they're there? I don't know. Well, they are there, I suppose. Let me construct a few over here. Not a massive amount. Let's have 2 for each person. So let's have 6 for the time being. And let's just extend that across. Let's also get all of this dug out as well, now that we've gotten rid of everything. Oh gosh, they're all going to fall down and hurt themselves now, aren't they? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I was going to say I really wish they'd think ahead, but then again, with me as their leader, it doesn't really surprise me that they don't. Okay. Let's just relax, because everything's going to be fine. Nothing is going to be fine. I don't know if we have any seeds. Do we have any? We have 24 seeds. We have mealwood seeds, blossom seeds, and briar seeds. I think, is mealwood the stuff to make the lice loaf? Meal lice. Do meal lice come from a mealwood plant? I don't know, but I'm going to pretend like the answer to that question is yes, and we're going to go with a mealwood seed. Yes, I can't do that yet because we need to get rid of all of this first. What fun. What did we research? We researched the pipes. Okay, we've got the pumps going, but the pumps aren't going to be massively useful at the moment until we actually have somewhere to pump the water to, because for the time being we're just using it for drinking. What we ideally want to do is set up some proper quarters for them to live in, which I think we should maybe do here, in a very vaguely centralised area. It also strikes me we should really have a second sort of ladder system going on here. I think we should deconstruct this and set ladder productions down here like that, so that they don't have to go all the way across here in order to go up there. So yeah, I want to plan out some proper quarters for them to live in. But do they actually need individual quarters? Because that was what I tried to do previously. I tried to build up individual quarters for them to live in, but I don't know if that's actually beneficial. They might be perfectly happy with just an area with beds in it and an area with hygiene stuff in it, by which I mean washing basins and like sinks and showers and stuff. That might be more than enough for them. What do the massage tables require? Rapidly reduces stress. Oh, I don't think I've ever used these before, and they sound vitally useful. So let me have a little think, because I think this strikes me for some reason as a good area to put the lavatories and some showers and some sinks, so that we can not be full of germs. So give us a minute, and I don't remember that before. What? Sieves one gas from the air, sending it into a dedicated pipe. Oh, that would probably explain why my carbon dioxide filter never works. I don't think I ever used that. So give us a minute. I shall get us some bathrooms and some proper quarters set up for them. Anyway, back to the actual project we assigned ourselves ages ago, and I never got around to doing. Where are the sinks? Here are the sinks. This is what I want. I want a sink. I want 2 sinks. I want 2 sinks. I want 2 showers. I don't want 2 showers there, though. I want 2 lavatories first, and then I want the showers. Shower. Then I want the beds on the far side of that, so that when they leave, they ensure that they are fully clean, instead of being big grubby-faced folks. There we go. And for the fun of it, we may as well just set a line in the sand there and get all of the rest of this dug out. There we go. That should solve our hygiene problem before it exists, if that makes any sense. Do we have copper? Metal ore? We have a fair amount of copper. Not the world's greatest volume of copper, but a fair amount of copper. Can I just prioritize this, please? Right. Someone earned a skill point. Oh! I remember the skill points. These infinitely can rebalance the morale with distress problem, which never ever went well. But we should definitely give you the advanced researching skill, because that is something we're going to need to do eventually, and it's not something that I have actually remembered to do. So anyway, I've set up some lights, because I think they're more productive when they're in light. I know the plants also do better in light, and I think light improves the decorum. So I'm trying to be mindful of things like decor and light and commuting times from the very beginning. Rather than waiting for a problem to happen and then trying to solve it, I'm trying to solve the problem before it's actually turned up. Is sort of my idea, but I have no guarantee whatsoever that it's going to work. Anyway, I've set up a it turned out to be a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Problem here. So we're going to need a lot of plumbing to get all of this done, which is going to be an interesting interesting little failure of mine to get that sorted out, because we're also going to need like a water reservoir, it strikes me, which I haven't set up yet. And I'd like to utilise this space underneath it for that, so that we have to use less pipe, because that's more efficient. However, I am aware of the fact that we have a lot of carbon dioxide here, a huge amount of carbon dioxide here, which I don't really want to just release into the base. So maybe we just sort of build a... I suppose we could build around here. I guess we could like bisect this and then pump this water into there. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do. I only know that I'm a moron. Improved carrying, improved tinkering. Yeah, I think we'll go for the carrying for the time being, because everyone needs to carry stuff, so I suppose it makes sense. But for the time being, I don't think we really need to worry about that. I don't really think we need to worry about the water reservoirs for the time being. So, let me sort us out a pump. And a way to actually access that pump. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I suppose it's going to have to go down like that. And let me sort out some piping for all of this, and then we'll come back and carry on with this farce. Okay. How's Stress doing? Catalina is slightly stressed. That's not good. That's not good. I can't bother to do anything about it, but that's not good. Thinking about something I should do about it, actually. I should probably put up some of those massage cots that I was banging on about earlier, and then completely forgot to actually bother about. I'll put them in a logical place. The logical place would have been here. That's where the logical place would have been. Into like a generalised recreation room. But, I suppose instead we'll put them somewhere sort of mid-commute, I suppose. I'll put them up here so that they're not too far away from everyone else. Okay, so this is sort of the rough situation of where we are at the minute. They're still using this, unfortunately, which is annoying because we haven't got this running yet, because we haven't actually finished the production of the pump. But when we do finish the production of the pump, we'll still be miles away from any of this actually working, because we're still going to get all the outflows working, which means the construction of all of this and actually the digging out of all of this, which it strikes me as slightly more important. I should probably put all of this on a 6, because all of this is kind of vitally important, because we need to have the outflow operating. We need to have like a reservoir for bad water to go so that it can be utilised and processed, but I don't want to just like waste it. I don't want to dump the water here, rather. I don't want to just leave it here and then have them working in the nasty water. I want to have the good water. I want to have the bad water reservoir already set up and prepped for use, is roughly my idea. And I forgot that the pump requires power. Of course it does. Oh my giddy aunt. The infinite woes of power production. No, 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 no. Me and my jittery hand. Right, we'll just run this along the exact same pipe that the exactly the same line that the pipe is running on, rather. And oh gosh, yeah, stress is going to go up massively if they're working underwater. I really see. This is why I want to get this area sorted out. Not just because there'll be germs everywhere, but also because there's going to be bad stuff happening. If you know, they're operating in dirty water, that's not going to go brilliantly for them. They're going to get all ill and sick from there being goop everywhere, which isn't good. We don't want there to be goop everywhere. Okay. I really don't like you kiddos working in the water. I really wish I had another solution to this problem, but I can't think of one. I don't actually suppose really there's any need for an artificial barrier, is there? Is there actually any need for an artificial barrier? I mean, wouldn't it be perfectly valid just to have a natural barrier? I mean, it's operating in the same way. When we dig out here, when we come to get these resources, what under the sun is that? A thimbleweed. A thimble-reed. Good for it. What an exciting looking device. Giddy aunt, sorry, my mind is going wrong places. What's this complaining about? Oh, it can't be used because all of the stuff underneath it isn't working. which means people aren't washing their hands, which means germs are getting everywhere. I don't like that. Also failed to do so many recordings today that my voice is already going hoarse and we're not even halfway through this video yet, probably. Okay, is at least our oxygen production looking better now? Oxygen generation is decent. Actually, exclude yesterday, there'd be better figures. Added, removed. Yes, good. Okay, we're outpacing our oxygen usage slightly. That's good. It also strikes me there's videos and tutorials and stuff which I never ever looked at. These need power as well. What in the name of Odin's beard in this game doesn't need power? Idiot. Fine. At least it's not a long extension of the cabling. I'm just worried about the cabling because I don't want to send the cabling too far. Because I think the tactic to prevent overpowering the cables is like to have like separate sectors. Like you have like this section of your base running by one power generator and this section of your base running by another power generator. So that it's not like too much stuff going down the same lines. I think is the idea, but I've no actual proof of that. Because I didn't ever bother actually looking anything up or reading anything or studying anything. I just sort of pretended like I was never coming back to this game, is the long and the short of it. But I think this is looking vaguely positive. Our oxygen production is alright. I'm hoping our food production will go okay. I wouldn't mind you making this grill, because I think the grill will make better food than the microbe musher. I think that's the idea, and I seem to remember I was using a grill in the past, so presumably that went alright, because it was never, like, food processing I had problems with. It was food production. It was always the plants. They were always too hot or too cold. They didn't have enough oxygen. They didn't have enough light, or they were complaining about something. Accursed plants. Yeah. Yay! Let there be light! And there was. Because, you know, lights aren't massively complicated electrical devices as in the grand scheme of things. Oh! Wizard! Giddy on, what am I? Some sort of 14-year-old from about 1812? Wizard. The grill needs power as well. Of course it does. Of course it does, because it's a grill. Everything needs power. It also strikes me I haven't lined up this... Oh, I have done that. There is... Oh, it's because it's not connected by this wire. I'm not very bright, as you may have noticed. Oh, gosh. Now there's bits of sand everywhere. Yep, more sand here. Giddy aunt. I've also expanded the food production a little bit, just A, so that we're ready for another person to come along when eventually they do. And also, because I'm scared. And building planter boxes is something I know how to do, even though I think I'm going to fail at everything else. So anyway, let me just assign these here. At the time being, it's not really useful for them to be there, but at least it means that I don't need to do it later when they're ready to transition over here. So we've got all of the... We haven't quite got all of the inflows done yet because we still haven't got this pump being powered. When we do, the water will be being pumped into here, and then that'll be the inflow sorted, and then we've just got to get the outflow sorted, which is literally just the production of this pipe and then this vent here. And then we've just got to worry about how under the sun we're going to get this thing operating. Is this slime? Some of this is slime. If I remember correctly, slime is full of germs. This slime isn't. This slime is clean. This slime is not clean. This slime is very not clean. What are you? You are very ugly, but then again I'm one to talk. Anyway. Yay, everything's working fine. Which, frankly, is a small miracle. There we are. That'll increase our food production a little bit. So, right, is there anything else in the menus that I can think of that might be useful? Used to construct the... used to build walls of floors and rooms. Does not obstruct liquid or gas flow. Oh... That would probably explain why my oxygen never spread very far. What I should probably do is use this. I should probably use that above my oxygen farm, because then the oxygen will spread more. What different constructions does it use? How do I tell the difference? Mesh tile. Yeah, what does it use though? Requires metal ore. Ooh, we can put it here, but that's the only place we can put it. We can't put it anywhere else afterwards because we do not have much metal. We've metal over here. We've also coal, but I'm frightened of coal. Not just because it's the stereotypical name for a bad guy in a movie, but also because coal production is a beast that is highly treacherous. So where are we? I suppose we should literally just go into here, shouldn't we? Because there is masses of metal here, which would be extremely useful. So yeah, I suppose that's literally just what we're going to have to do. I suppose we'll just build up like here, I suppose, like that, and then just have them dig out as much of this as possible. I suppose we'll leave the coal for the time being, because the coal will come in handy just to act as like a place to stand, I suppose, and then we can worry about everything else later. But then we're getting them yet another job, which means they're not getting other jobs done. I mean, why? Oh, because I've assigned you a bed you can't sleep in, because this... I've assigned you a bed you can't sleep in because there's literally nothing for this cot to sit on. That would probably explain why she's sleeping on the floor, poor woman. Never mind. These are on now, which, outside of massage clinic, you ungrateful little gooses. Do you honestly think I have the opportunity to give you a massage clinic? If I could, I would, but I can't. They also can't produce this because we don't have any more metal, do we? We have a little bit of metal, but it's all being used up here, which means we are desperately getting access to this, which we can't actually do yet, because I haven't set this up properly. Yeah, I think we need to set all of this to a 6, purely because this is like a basic resource that's going to come in very handy later. So it's very pretty though, very pretty indeed. So I don't like all of this polluted water. Oh yes, I remember the bad bottled water this stuff produces. I completely forgotten about that. Bottle emptiers. Yes. I can't do that because the ladder's going to be there, isn't it? Oh, blast. There, I suppose. And we, oh no, not there, one higher. Because I'm going to have to put a tile there. Let's put a bottle emptier so we can start getting rid of this bad water. Or this bad oxygen, rather, because this is producing polluted oxygen, which is very bad. So, let me set that to a 6. And that to a 6, so that hopefully they start working their way down here, because I think we need to get rid of this. Like, I don't think polluted water that's just sitting naturally produces polluted oxygen, but bottled polluted water certainly does. Don't ask why a bad thing that's in a secure container emanates something which a bad thing isn't in a secure container doesn't. Don't ask, because I don't know. But anyway. It also strikes me that the reason these lights aren't getting done is because they can't actually reach these lights. It also strikes me, further to all of that, that these extra plants I've put here aren't going to be able to be reached by the light because I haven't put lights above them, because I'm a moron. Anyway, moving swiftly on from my moronicisms, let's put in another light, and remember to wire it up, because, you know, everything under the sun requires electricity. Except the oxygen production, which is nice. Well, the oxygen production as of yet. Just you wait, I'm sure something absolutely horrific will happen that will require much more. But we've got lots of metal now. We have 10 tons of metal. If only we had 16 tons, I could do another musical reference that somebody might actually get, because that song was featured in the game. A game that was absolutely awful, but a game nonetheless. What is that? Is that a little alien? Well, I mean, technically everything's an alien. It's called a morb. Morbs are attracted to unhygienic conditions. Yeah. Yeah, I think they should be kept well away from me then. Oh gosh. I'm going to have to increase the priorities from these, because these need to be managed. I can't let them get left undone. We're finally going to get somebody to join the fray. An arbor acorn. Seed of an arbor tree. How exciting. You're a binge eater and you're a binge eater, so, what about you? Decreased air consumption, right? A little bit of science, a little bit of... But enough with the Darobuian impression. Let's add someone to the mix, so that we can increase our food consumption, and our oxygen consumption, and our everything else consumption, and probably not equally increase the amount of food that we've got. Never mind. Let me just set this wire to be sorted, because I'm just getting a little sick of this not being done. I just want this to be finished, just so that we can at least have this nearly sorted out, because I don't want to get the outflow pipe working and then suddenly realise we still haven't got the inflows working yet. So, give me a minute to make a little bit more progress and then we'll carry on. Once I've set you with a skill. Hard digging, yes, because we are in desperate need of somebody who can do that, and no one can do that at the minute, so let's get that sorted out. Oh, for crying out loud. That stupid light and this accursed crown moulding that I just put in place won't fit here. Computer's too tall. Oh, for goodness sake. Why can't things just go right? Why does everything have to go ever so slightly wrong? How am I going to do this then if that won't fit in there? Because that is literally the perfect place for it. I guess we could just put it somewhere else, and it's not like the end of the universe that it doesn't have to go down there. It would just be nice if it did. What I am going to do, however, is build a second manual generator, because I'm all... Although, to be honest with you, I don't really think there's any need for that, because it's not like one's being used, but we're still down on research or anything. What was that weird noise? I don't know. Anyway, we're making some progress. We've got a bit of food going. We've got a little bit of more light going. I'm building some moulding to try and improve their decor a little bit. We've got the pipe finished to get the water into all of this stuff. I built a water cooler. I don't know if this is useful, but I think it improves the decor. So that's nice for them, I suppose. So... yeah, this is the beginning of the... I mean, it doesn't matter. The lights don't need to be on during the night, and I rather wish I could turn them off. Can I do that? Is that like a thing I can do? Errands, property... Can I tell these things to be off at night or something? Because surely that would be logical. But maybe not. What I should do is build a couple more batteries. That would probably be a wise idea, wouldn't it? There we are. Okay, so I think this is a decent start. I think this is an acceptable beginning to the colony. I'm going to try and be a lot more careful. I'm going to try and be a lot more slow and steady with things. And I'm going to try and think ahead. I'm going to try and make this place go a little bit better. I'm going to try and keep the number of duplicants down as well, because I think I got too many duplicants last time, which meant my demands for things went up too far. So I'm going to try and keep things slow and steady, and hopefully things will go a little bit more successfully, and this will mean that each week we can have a video of this coming out, which will hopefully reduce my stress slightly as I panic about things all the time. So, yes, Auction Not Included is back on the channel. I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, for the spectacular screw-up. I hope you enjoyed it. Look after each other, and good night.